Hi guys, welcome to my study compass. In this video, I'll be walking you through the past paper, Math P3, Variant 3, May-June 2022. Let's get started. The diagram shows three quadrilaterals on a 1 cm square grid. Write down the mathematical name of quadrilateral A. On the grid, here is quadrilateral A. The quadrilateral is a kite. Find the area of quadrilateral A. The length of the diagonals of the kite are 4 centimeters and 2 centimeters. So the area of the kite is equal to the product of its diagonals, which is 4 times 2 centimeters squared divided by 2. This gives us 4 centimeters squared. Describe fully the single transformation that maps quadrilateral A onto quadrilateral B. When we look at shapes A and B, we can tell straight away that this is an enlargement by a scale factor of 2 because each of the sides of the image, which is shape B, is twice its corresponding side in shape A. This is a positive scale factor because both shapes have the same orientation. Now we need to find the center of enlargement. To get this, we connect at least two corresponding points on shapes A and B. The intersection point of the lines is the center of enlargement, which in this case is -8, 2. And so the full description for the transformation is enlargement by a scale factor of 2 about the center, -8, 2. Describe fully the single transformation that maps quadrilateral A onto quadrilateral C. When we look at shape A and its image, shape C, we can tell straight away that this is a translation because both shapes have the same size and orientation. The only difference is that they are located on different parts of the grid. So now we need to find the translation vector. From the illustration, we see that this vector is 0, -10. And so the full description for the transformation is translation by the vector 0, -10. On the grid, draw the image of quadrilateral C after a 90 degrees anti-clockwise rotation about the origin. First, we need to mark the center of rotation, which is the origin. Then we rotate each vertex on shape C 90 degrees in the anti-clockwise direction about the center. So if we pick point B on shape C, we draw a line from this point to the center of rotation. Then we measure and mark 90 degrees in the anti-clockwise direction from this line. From here, we draw a line from the center of rotation, passing through the 90-degree mark. The final step is to now mark the new position of point B on this line, such that the distance from its new position to the center of rotation is the same as the distance from the center of rotation to its original position. After repeating the same process for all the vertices on shape C, we are now able to map out the rotated image of shape C. On the grid, draw the image of quadrilateral C after a reflection in the line x equals 1. First, we need to draw the line of reflection, which is x equals 1. Then we reflect each vertex on shape C in the line x equals 1. This means if we pick point D on shape C, since we move 2 units to the right to touch the line of reflection, then we also need to move 2 units to the right from the line of reflection to pin the new position of point D. After repeating the same process for all the vertices on shape C, we are now able to map out the reflected image of shape C. Use set notation to describe the shaded region. The shaded region can be described as A union B. The universal set E is equal to x, such that x is a natural number less than and equal to 16. Write down all the square numbers in the universal set E. The square numbers that are in the universal set are 1, 4, 9, and 16. Write down the 6 prime numbers in the universal set E. The prime numbers in the universal set are 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, and 13. Complete the Venn diagram to show the elements of these sets. First, we list the multiples of sets M and F. From these lists, we see that the elements common to sets M and F are 3 and 15. After taking out these common elements, the remaining elements in set M are 9, 6, and 12. 9 has already been filled in for us. And after taking out the common elements, the remaining elements in set F are 1 and 5. 1 has already been filled in for us. The remaining natural numbers in the universal set that are neither in sets M or F are 4, 10, and 14. The rest of them have already been filled in for us. Write down all the odd numbers that are not in set M and not in set F. On the Venn diagram, we see that the odd numbers in the elements outside sets M and F are 7, 11, and 13. Find n of M intersection F. In other words, we are to find the number of elements common to sets M and F. From the Venn diagram, we see that the number of elements in this region are 2 in total. A number is chosen at random from the universal set E. Find the probability that this number is in set F. This probability is equal to the number of elements in set F, which is 4, divided by the number of elements in the universal set, which is 16. Mr. Zhang, his wife, and 3 children go on a holiday from Shanghai to Oakland. The flight for an adult costs $630. The cost for a child is 5/8 of the adult's cost. Show that the total cost of the flight for the family is $2,441, correct to the nearest dollar. To get the flight cost for the child, we take 5/8 of the adult flight cost, which is $630. This gives us $393.75. So now the total cost of the flight for the family is equal to the cost of the flight for the 2 adults, which is 2 times $630, plus the cost of the flight for the 3 children, which is 3 times $393.75. When we type this into the calculator, this is what we have, which is approximately $2,441, rounded to the nearest dollar. The plane leaves Shanghai at 25 local time on 13th November. The plane stops for 2 hours 30 minutes in Sydney. The plane lands in Auckland at 17:25 local time on 14th November. The local time in Auckland is 5 hours ahead of the local time in Shanghai. Work out how long the plane is flying in hours and minutes. We are told the local time in Auckland is 5 hours ahead of the local time in Shanghai. This means when the plane landed in Auckland at 17:25 local time on the 14th, the local time in Shanghai was 12:25. To get the total time duration, we first need to find the time duration from 25 to midnight by subtracting 25 from 24 o'clock. Under the minute column, we can't subtract 5 from 0. So we get 1 hour from the hour column, which becomes 60 minutes under the minute column. So 60 minus 5 is 55. Under the hour column, 23 minus 20 is 3. So now to get the total time duration, we add 12:25 to 3:55. Under the minute column, 55 plus 25 is 80. 60 minutes is 1 hour, so we add 1 to the hour column and leave the remaining 20 minutes under the minute column. Under the hour column, 1 plus 3 plus 12 is 16. Now we know the total time duration is 16 hours 20 minutes. But out of this, we know that the plane stopped for 2 hours 30 minutes. So to get the time duration for flying alone, we subtract 2 hours 30 minutes from 16 hours 20 minutes. Under the minutes column, we can't subtract 30 from 20, so we get 1 hour from the hour column, which becomes 60 minutes under the minutes column. So we have 80 minutes. So 80 minus 30 is 50. Under the hour column, 15 minus 2 is 13. So we have 13 hours, 50 minutes. Write your answer to part BI in hours, correct to 3 decimal places. Our answer to part BI was 13 hours 50 minutes. To convert 50 minutes to hours, we divide 50 by 60. When we type this into the calculator, we get 13.833 hours, rounded to 3 decimal places. The flight distance from Shanghai to Sydney is 7,882 kilometers. The flight distance from Sydney to Auckland is 2,156 kilometers. Find the total distance the plane flies. The total distance is equal to 7,882 plus 2,156 kilometers, which gives us 10,038 kilometers. Calculate the average speed of the plane when it is flying. We can use this formula to get the average speed. We found the distance d between Shanghai and Auckland in the previous question to be 10,038 kilometers, and we found the time duration t the plane is flying to be 13.833 hours. When we type this into the calculator, we get 726 kilometers per hour, rounded to 3 significant figures. The holiday expenses are in the ratio hotel is to car hire is to food equals 8 is to 5 is to 6. The cost of the hotel is $2,400. Show that the total of the holiday expenses is $5,700. The cost of the hotel, which is $2,400, is equal to the ratio share for the hotel, which is 8, divided by the total ratio, which is 19, times the total amount for all the expenses, which we are calling T. When we make T the subject, this is what we get, which is equal to $5,700. The diagram shows a regular polygon. Write down the mathematical name of this polygon. The given polygon has 8 sides, so it is an octagon. Show that the interior angle of this polygon is 135 degrees. The formula for the size of an interior angle in a regular polygon is 180 degrees times n minus 2 divided by n, where n in this case is 8. This gives us 135 degrees. A sequence of diagrams is made by joining these polygons. Complete the table. When we count the number of lines in diagram 3, we get 22. We see that the number of lines keep increasing by 7. So the number of lines in diagram 4 would be 22 plus 7, which is 29. And the number of lines in diagram 5 would be 29 plus 7, which is 36. Write down the term-to-term rule for the number of lines in the sequence. The term-to-term rule is to add 7. Work out the number of lines in diagram 9. For this, let's solve the next question first, then we come back to this. Find an expression in terms of n for the number of lines in diagram n. Since the number of lines keep increasing by a constant value, we can use this formula to get the nth term. A1, which is the number of lines in diagram 1, is 8. D, which is the common difference, is 7. When we expand the brackets, 7 times n is 7n. 7 times -1 is -7. When we group like terms, 8 minus 7 is 1, so we have 7n plus 1. Now with this, we can go back and get the number of lines in diagram 9. So that will be 7 times 9 plus 1, which is equal to 64. Diagram K has 113 lines. Find the value of K. To get diagram K, we equate 113 to 7K plus 1. Then we subtract 1 from both sides. We have 7K equals 112. And when we divide both sides by 7, we get K equals 16. Work out the number of days in 7 weeks. To get the number of days in 7 weeks, we multiply 7 by the number of days in a week, which is 7. This gives us 49 days. The summit of Mount Everest is 8,848 meters above sea level. Iden Lake is 154 meters below sea level. Work out the difference in height between these places. The difference in height is equal to the height of Mount Everest, which is 8,848 meters, minus the height of the lake, which is 154 meters below sea level. So that is -154 meters. This gives us 9,002 meters. Find two integers that have a sum of -12 and a product of 32. First, we list the numbers that multiply to give us 32. From this list, we see that -4 and -8 add up to -12. Write 3/8 as a decimal. When we type 3/8 into the calculator, we get its decimal form to be 0.375. Write 3/8 as a percentage. To write 3/8 as a percentage, we multiply 3/8 by 100%. When we type 3/8 times 100 into the calculator, we get 37.5. Write down the reciprocal of 1/9. The reciprocal of 1/9 is 9/1, which is 9. Find the value of 4 raised to the power 5. When we type this into the calculator, we get 1024. Find the value of cube root of 512. When we type this into the calculator, we get 8. Write 587,000 in standard form. To write this number in standard form, we move the decimal point from the end of the number to a position after the first non-zero digit, which is 5. So we have 5.87. Since we move the decimal point 5 units to the left, we multiply 5.87 by 10 raised to the power 5. Calculate 4.9 times 10 raised to the power -3 plus 8.1 times 10 raised to the power -4. Give your answer in standard form. One way we can go about this is to type the given expression into the calculator, get an answer, and use the method from the previous solution to convert it to standard form. The approach we have here requires that we first convert 8.1 times 10 raised to the power -4 to have a power of -3. To do this, we multiply 10 raised to the power -4 by 10, which gives us 10 raised to the power -3. Then we divide 8.1 by 10 to balance the expression. This gives us 0.81. Now we can rewrite this as 4.9 plus 0.81 times 10 raised to the power -3. 4.9 plus 0.81 is 5.71. So we have 5.71 times 10 raised to the power -3. The height h meters of a fence post is 2.43 meters, correct to the nearest centimeter. Complete the statement about the value of h. To correct h to the nearest centimeter, we have 2.43 meters. Then we bring in plus and minus 1 centimeter, which is 0.01 meters. Then we divide 0.01 meters by 2. So for the lower bound of h, we have 2.43 minus 0.01 over 2 meters, which is equal to 2.425 meters. And for the upper bound of h, we have 2.43 plus 0.01 over 2 meters, which is equal to 2.435 meters. So we have h is greater than and equal to 2.425 and less than 2.435. Maria owns a restaurant with 30 tables. One day, she records the number of customers at each table at 7 p.m. The bar chart shows the results. Write down the mode. The mode is the number with the tallest bar, and that is 4. Find the range. The range is equal to the highest number, which is 6, minus the lowest number, which is 1. 6 minus 1 gives us 5. Calculate the mean. The mean is equal to the total number of customers at the 30 tables, which is 1 times 2 plus 2 times 7 plus 3 times 3 plus 4 times 9 plus 5 times 4 plus 6 times 5 divided by 30. When we type this into the calculator, we get 3.7. On the same day, she also recorded the number of customers at each table at 1 p.m. The results are shown in the table. Write down 2 comments comparing the results from 7 p.m. with the results from 1 p.m. When we compare the 2 results, we see that the mode at 7 p.m. is 4, while the mode at 1 p.m. is 2. In addition, we get the median at 7 p.m. to be 4, while the median at 1 p.m. is 2. 270 meals are ordered one day at the restaurant. The table shows the number of each type of meal. Complete the table. To get the sector angle for each meal type, we divide the number ordered for the meal type by 270 and multiply by 360 degrees. So for the meat, we have 117 divided by 270 times 360 degrees, which is equal to 156 degrees. And for the fish, we have 99 over 270 times 360 degrees, which is equal to 132 degrees. Complete the pie chart. Using a protractor, we first measure the sector angle for meat, which is 156 degrees. Then we measure the sector angle for vegetarian, which is 72 degrees. The remaining angle, which is 132 degrees, would be for fish. Complete the table of values for y equals 15 over x, where x cannot be equal to 0. When we plug in x equals negative 15 into the equation, we get y equals negative 1. For x equals negative 5, we get y equals negative 3. For x equals negative 2, we get y equals negative 7.5. For x equals 2, we get y equals 7.5. For x equals 5, we get y equals 3. For x equals 10, we get y equals 1.5. And for x equals 15, we get y equals 1. On the grid, draw the graph of y equals 15 over x for x is greater than and equal to -15 and less than and equal to -1 and x is greater than and equal to 1 and less than and equal to 15. On the grid, we plot all the points in the table and connect the points with a smooth line. Write down the order of rotational symmetry of the graph. The order of rotational symmetry of the graph is the number of times the graph looks just like this when it is rotated through 360 degrees. The graph looks exactly like this under two instances: after it is rotated 180 degrees and after it is rotated 360 degrees. So its order of rotational symmetry is 2. On the grid, draw the lines of symmetry of the graph. The line of symmetry of the graph is a line that cuts the graph into two mirror halves. This graph has two lines of symmetry. Write down the equation of the line of symmetry that does not intersect the graph. On the grid, we see that out of the two lines of symmetry, the one that does not intersect the graph is y equals -x. Use your graph to solve the equation 15/x equals -6. In other words, we are to find the x value of the intersection point between the graph of y equals 15/x and the line y equals -6. On the grid, we first draw the line y equals -6. From here, we see that the x value of its intersection point with the graph is -2.5. In the diagram, PQ equals PR and QRS is a straight line. Write down the mathematical name of triangle PQR. In triangle PQR, there are exactly two equal sides, so it is an isosceles triangle. Work out angle QPR. Angles on a straight line add up to 180 degrees. So to get angle PRQ, we subtract 114 from 180, which gives us 66 degrees. Base angles in an isosceles triangle are equal. The sum of the angles in triangle PQR must add up to 180 degrees. So we have angle QPR plus 66 plus 66 equals 180. When we make angle QPR the subject, we get angle QPR equals 48 degrees. In the diagram, D, E, and F are points on a circle center O. AB is a tangent to the circle at E. Lines AB and CD are parallel and angle BED is 68 degrees. Find angle CDE and give a reason for your answer. These two are alternate angles. Alternate angles are equal, so angle CDE is 68 degrees. Find angle DEF and give a reason for your answer. The angle formed between a radius and the tangent is 90 degrees. So to get angle DEF, we subtract 68 from 90, which gives us 22 degrees. Work out angle EFD. Write down two further geometrical properties needed to find angle EFD. An angle formed in a semicircle is 90 degrees. The sum of the angles formed in triangle EFD must add up to 180 degrees. So we have angle EFD plus 90 plus 22 equals 180. When we make angle EFD the subject, we get angle EFD equals 68 degrees. POQ is a sector of a circle, center O, and radius 7.5 centimeters. The sector angle is 60 degrees. Calculate the length of the arc PQ. To get the length of the arc PQ, we apply the formula theta over 360 degrees times 2 pi r, where theta is 60 degrees and the radius r is 7.5 centimeters. When we type this into the calculator, we get 7.85 centimeters, rounded to 3 significant figures. Ahmed owns a company. Each year, he earns $56,000 plus 3% of the year's profits. Calculate the amount he earns in a year when the profit is $320,600. The amount he earns is equal to his base salary, which is $56,000, plus the share of the year's profits, which is 3% of $320,600. When we type this into the calculator, we get $65,618. In the following year, the profit is $347,851. Calculate the percentage increase in the profits. The percentage increase in profits is equal to the increase in profits, which is $347,851 minus $320,600 divided by the initial profits, which was $320,600 times 100%. When we type this into the calculator, we get 8.5%. Ahmed employs 3 people, Budi, Citra, and Diane. Budi earns $17,000, Citra earns $13,600, and Diane earns $6,800. Find the ratio of their earnings in its simplest form. The ratio of their earnings is Budi is to Citra is to Diane equals 17,000 is to 13,600 is to 6,800. When we divide through the ratio by 100, we are left with 170 is to 136 is to 68. The highest common factor of 170, 136, and 68 is 34. So when we divide through the ratio by 34, we are left with 5 is to 4 is to 2. Ahmed buys materials from China costing 7,560 yuan. Work out the cost of the materials in dollars when the exchange rate is $1 equals 7.06 yuan. Give your answer correct to the nearest dollar. We want to find the cost of the materials in dollars, given that the exchange rate is $1 equals 7.06 yuan. This is what we are calling x. When we cross multiply and make x the subject, this is what we get, which is equal to $1,071, rounded to the nearest dollar. Ahmed borrows $8,000 for 3 years at a rate of 5% per year compound interest. Calculate the amount of interest he will pay at the end of the 3 years. First, we can use the compound interest formula to get the total amount of money he will be paying. Big A represents the amount of money he will pay at the end of the 3 years, which is what we are finding. Small a represents the amount he borrows, which is $8,000. R is the annual rate, which is 5, and T is the time duration in years, which is 3. When we type this into the calculator, we get $9,261. Now we know the total amount of money he will pay. So to get the amount for the interest, we subtract $8,000 from $9,261. This gives us $1,261. Thank you for watching. I hope you found this video useful. See you in the next video. Bye guys.